It's like they have the keys. That's just one of the revelations to come out of a CBC Marketplace investigation into a mystery device that's increasingly being used in vehicle thefts. Take a look at how easy it can be to crack even advanced security systems.
When I want, I can go up to the car and I can unlock it. And then, just using this.
Did you hear the, oh, in there? That was you. That was Charlsie Agro, who's been, of course, doing the CBC Marketplace investigation here to tell me about it. This is an incredible story. People are going to want to see, Charlsie. How do they get into cars? What is this device?
So you mentioned a mystery, Heather, and that's really how this one got started, because we spoke to police in California, all across the U.S., even here in Canada, and no one has actually gotten their hands on one of these devices. So it was sort of an unpacking a mystery to really figure out how are they doing this. And what we learned is that this is surveillance footage too. So you can see they're sort of holding something in their hand. In some cases, like the one you just saw, it's pretty tiny. But when we're talking about opening up the car, we're talking about devices that work with the fob. And your fob sends a radio signal back and forth between your car, and that's how they communicate. So if you look, they're holding something in their hand and then poof, the doors just open. So we know that there's a couple of things that can happen. One, they can just block the signal. So you click the clicker, you think your door is locked, and it's not. Another way thieves can do it, which you saw in that example before, is that they actually capture and record that code and then use it later. And then finally, if you keep your keys by your front door, like so many of us do, they can actually boost or amplify the signal from your fob to your car and open up your vehicle. So it's interesting stuff.
No,
yeah, if your keys are inside your home,
near the front door,
and they're near the vehicle, they can actually boost the signal from that fob to your car. It's pretty wild.
This is really incredible. Yeah. So they can get in, but then can they drive away in the vehicle?
So this is what is really interesting. There's something else also at play here, and this is where things get a little bit more high tech. People might be familiar with something called the onboard diagnostic port. That's that little jack underneath your steering wheel if you've ever been to the mechanic and they plug in to diagnose your car. So that's another device, Heather, that people, thieves, are using, and that works by mostly reprogramming car keys. So if you drive a newer model car, a lot of vehicles these days, you don't even have to put a key in the ignition. You just have to have the key in the vicinity of the car to start the engine. So thieves are getting a hold of these devices, and we've seen some for sale online ranging from a couple $100 to thousands of dollars, but this is a little bit more sophisticated. And we spoke to York Regional Police. They're just north of Toronto here, and they say that in the last 2 years or so, they've seen an increase in the number of electronic thefts when it comes to stealing cars.
I think it's always been a sort of a cat and mouse game. It's just like computers themselves, right? I mean, hackers get into systems, they make better security measures, stops people for a while. People, if there's profit, people are going to put the effort in to do it, right? So is it getting easier? For some it is, because they've got the technology to do it. Is it rampant? No, not yet.
So there have been a couple of big, higher profile busts here in the Greater Toronto area in the last couple of months. And part of what York Regional Police are telling us is that these thieves that are actually stealing these vehicles, not just breaking in to take your stuff, he believes that those are a little bit more sophisticated. So we're talking about more organized groups. In a lot of cases, these cars that are being stolen are so desirable overseas because they come with keys and the vehicles aren't damaged. That's the difference here between electronic theft and those old school methods.
With the Jimmy and all kinds of things. Okay, so he said it's not rampant, not yet.
Right.
Obviously, our cars are so high tech now, computers on wheels in so many models, so car companies have to be aware of this. What are they doing to thwart this kind of theft?
Sure. So you saw in that first piece of video that researcher that we worked with, he was able to get into a 2016 GM model car. So we took that video to General Motors and said, have you seen this? They were aware of something happening as well. What General Motors says, though, is they want people to know their cars cars are safe and secure. They take this very seriously. GM has actually turned to the hacking community, which is quite unusual, and said, hey, if you've got a security flaw, we want to know about it. So certainly car manufacturers are aware of this. They're on it, and it's definitely a new breed of thief. Okay. Many eyes on your program tonight, I suspect, and lots of tips as well about how to further protect yourself from this kind of car theft. Charlsie, thanks. Hey, that's the end of the season for you, so thanks a lot for all the great investigations over this past year. I've enjoyed it very much. The latest for Charlsie, car theft on Marketplace tonight. You can watch the episode airing at 8 p.m., 8:30 in Newfoundland.